My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh.
Hello, and welcome back to Spittin Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar, and I'm coming at you from the 256. This video going to be NFL recap from the week. Going to try to make it as quick as possible, maybe talk a little less about things that went on and just kind of give the overview of the game. But let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so on Thursday night for the NFL, this past Thursday, you had the Texans taking on the Dolphins in Houston. The Texans, when all was said and done, they just pulled away, put it away against the Dolphins. Deshaun Watson threw 5 touchdowns. He had a nice game. Lamar Miller had another nice game for Houston. They're not now on a 5-game win streak. They're up to 5-3. And the Dolphins are now 4-4 after their 3-0 start. The first game here, the last of the London games this season, you had the Eagles taking on the Jaguars. And the Eagles took a 10-6 lead into the half and just added to their lead after halftime. The final score was 24-18. Wentz threw for 3 touchdowns. The Eagles are now back to 500 at 4-4. The Jags are now 3-5 on a huge slide right now. They're really reeling right now. They really gotta figure something out, specifically with their offense at quarterback. Next, you had the Jets visiting the Bears. The Bears were up 7-3 at half. Obviously, they added to that lead after halftime. Trubisky threw for another 220 and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Howard, he had 81 yards and a touchdown. Tariq Cohen caught 1 pass on the day for 70 yards and a touchdown. The Bears really didn't struggle a whole lot when all was said and done. They take down the Jets 24-10. The Bears are now 4-3. The Jets have now fallen to 3-5. The Bucks, the Tampa Bay Bucks, were in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Obviously, Jameis Winston had been starting, was the starter for the Buccaneers. He threw 4 picks, got benched. Fitzpatrick back in the mix for the Buccaneers there. But the Bengals kicked the field goal as time expired to end the game and win 37-34. The Bengals are now 5-3. The Buccaneers have now fallen to 3-4. The Seahawks, they went into Detroit to play the Lions. They scored 21 in the second quarter to go up 21-7 at the half, and then both teams added a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Seahawks win by 14. Stafford threw for another 310 and 2 touchdowns. Chris Carson really looks like he's taking a hold on that running game for the Seahawks. And the Seahawks win 28-14. They're now 4-3. The Lions are now 3-4. The next one, you had the Chiefs at home. They did what you'd expect. They won rather easily. It was a 7-point game when all was said and done, but they were ahead by quite a little bit there in the fourth quarter. Mahomes threw another 4 touchdowns in this game. Sammy Watkins, he had 2 touchdowns. Actually made some noise. You don't really hear much. Haven't really heard much about him with Kansas City this year. But the Chiefs at home, undefeated still. They're 7-1 overall now. The Broncos have now fallen to 3-5. Chiefs win 30-23 over the Broncos. Next, you had the Redskins and the Giants. Adrian Peterson, what he's doing is pretty crazy right now. He ran for almost 150 yards and a touchdown. Odell Beckham had another 100-yard game. But the Redskins just ended up too much, outlasted the Giants in that football game. The final was 20-13. The Redskins now, they're up to 5-2, and the Giants have now fallen to 1-7. A rematch of the opening weekend between the Browns and the Steelers went much more the way you thought it would have in week 1. But the Steelers never really, they were down 6-0 after the first, but after that it was all Steelers for the most part. Antonio Brown had 2 touchdowns. James Conner keeps proving that he'll be just fine for the Steelers moving forward. He had 2 touchdowns on almost 150 yards, 146. But the Steelers, they really took control. They're back to the team we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. But no, they're 4-2-1 now after their really sluggish start. The Browns have now fallen to 2-5-1. Yesterday they did fire their head coach and offensive coordinator, but the Steelers beat the Browns on Sunday 33-18. Next, you had the Ravens and the Panthers. And the Panthers, they really ran away with this one in the second quarter. They made it 24-7, just before, or not just before, but before halftime, and that's really all they needed. The Panthers, they ended up winning 36-21. Cam Newton threw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for another. The Panthers are now 5-2 and undefeated at home, so that's huge for them right now. The Ravens have fallen to 4-4. They're 2-3 on the road. So they really need to get back to their home confines, even though they lost their last game there to the Saints. But Panthers 36-21 over the Ravens. Next, you had the Colts. Colts on a 2-game win streak now against the Raiders. It was close until the fourth quarter when the Colts scored 21 unanswered there. Scored 21 in the fourth to make the final score 42-28 Colts. Marlon Mack, he's proved he is the man in the backfield for Indianapolis. And the Colts, they're now 3-5. Raiders fall to 1-6. Long year for the Raiders continues. It's going to continue. I think it's more of a question of when they offload Derek Carr, but we'll just see. A lot of trades going on today to this point. But Colts 42-28 over the Raiders. Next one was probably the game of the weekend overall on the field. It was crazy. The Rams, they jumped ahead, but the Packers fought right back, took the lead themselves, and then a late fumble spelled the end of the Packers' chances there. Ty Montgomery fumbled on a kickoff, and it really obviously changed everything because the Rams ended up winning 29-27. Jared Goff, he threw for 295 and 3 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, another 100 yards. Devontae Adams for Green Bay, another 100 yards. But the Rams, they're now 8-0 after beating the Packers 29-27. The Packers are now 3-3-1. But that was one fun football game to watch. But the Rams pull it out late in the game and win 29-27. Next, you had the 49ers at Arizona. Arizona picked up their second win, and the 49ers, they fall to 1-7. The Cardinals late scored a touchdown to make the score. It was 16-15, and then they went for 2. Got that, and the final score was 18-15 Cardinals. Rosen, he threw some nice passes, especially late. That last touchdown he threw was an absolute dime. 252, 2 touchdowns from him. Larry Fitzgerald, 100-yard game, 1 touchdown. He's now third all-time receiving. He's only, I think it's 30-something yards behind Terrell Owens for most receiving yards in NFL, or second most receiving yards in NFL history. But Cardinals pick up their second win, and the 49ers fall to 1-7. The Sunday night game, Saints and Vikings. I really thought the Vikings were going to be able to get them since it was a home game for Minnesota. But the Saints, they really in that third quarter is what separated it. They scored those 10 points to make it 30-13 at the time, and it really after that it just seemed the Saints had it, and then the Vikings scored much later in the fourth quarter, that touchdown. So it was pretty much over with. The Saints, one of the best teams in football right now. Definitely, I'd say they're top 3 with the Rams, Chiefs, and themselves. But the Saints, they get the job done on the road. They're now 6-1. The Vikings are now 4-3-1. Saints haven't lost a game on the road yet. They're 4-0. Cousins threw for another 359 and 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs had 119 yards and a touchdown. Also, Thielen, he did break 100 yards as well in this football game. But the Saints just keep winning football games. 30-20 over the Vikings on Sunday night. And then last night we had the Patriots and Bills, which was only 9-3 Patriots at the half. But the second half they turned it up and got the job done. They won 25-6. And it was only 12-6 going into the fourth quarter, so there was still a chance for the Bills to pull off the miraculous upset. But the Patriots scored 13 to the Bills 0 in the fourth quarter and won the game 25-6. Brady threw for 324. Cordero Patterson was the leading rusher for New England with 38 yards. He had 10 carries. Julian Edelman broke 100 yards in the game. But the Patriots, they're now 6-2. They've won 2 games on the road now. They're 2-2 on the road. The Bills fall to 2-6. Your bye weeks this week were the Falcons, Cowboys, Titans, and Chargers. But that was all the games for this past weekend of the NFL games, Week 8. Yes, Week 8 it was this week for the NFL. Let me know what you saw this week from the games. What were your biggest takeaways? Those kind of things down in the comments. But don't forget to leave a like, share the content, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. But this has been Spittin' Sports with Lamar. I am Casey Lamar. Look forward to talking to you guys later.